Hi, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for coming to take Yin. If you have props, that's great. If you got a bolster, wonderful, but you don't need a bolster. You can use really anything, a couch cushion, a big fluffy pillow, a couple of pillows. If you've got a blanket, you might want to grab a blanket. I hope you're having a great day. And we'll get started in child's pose. Draw your knees wide. Sit back onto your heels. Drop your chest forward. If you're using a blanket, if you're using a pillow, you can gaze one way to start. You'll switch your gaze out halfway through. And just notice what it feels like as the entire weight of your body is heavy onto the earth. Can you soak in and embrace this grounding sensation? Feeling fully supported here. And take a breath in through your nose. Sigh out your air. One more inhale. Big exhale. Just allow your breath to flow naturally. If an Ujjayi pranayama would feel good here, start to turn that on. If you're gazing one way, switch out your gaze. Then notice any thoughts, right? Yin Yoga is a hard one to practice on your own. There's lots of distractions around us. And this stillness can be quite challenging. So notice if any urge to move or any anticipation of movement arises. Any distractions or thoughts flow in. Just sit with them, breathe with them until they pass. Take 4 more breaths here. And push up into a tabletop. Slide your props aside in all fours. Send your right leg back. Roll out your ankle both directions. And then your left leg back. Roll it out. Back to your tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly. Slide your heart forward. Exhale, cat, round and curl your spine. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep moving here. And from a neutral tabletop, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Bend one knee, bend the other knee. Keep your feet where they're at. Ragdoll the back of your mat. Crawl your hands back towards your toes and then bend your knees a lot. Grab for opposite elbow creases. Drop your gaze towards your knees or your shins so your head and neck are released. You can sway side to side or rock way forward and then back. And release your grip. Stay in your fold. Reach back, grab for your heels, maybe your calves, or opposite wrists or elbows behind your kneecaps. Use your upper body to pull your chest closer towards your thighs. And release your grip. Crawl back to down dog. Half pigeon on the right side. Bring your right knee to your right wrist. Send your shin across your mat. Lengthen your left leg long. You can stay upright. You can slide any of your props underneath your right glute, a blanket, a block, a pillow. Maybe you fold forward here. Notice which way you're gazing. You can switch halfway through or on the other side. If this ever bothers your front knee, you can flip onto your back. Taking a supine variation. You're halfway through if you want to switch out your gaze or slide your props away, coming into a deeper variation. One more minute here. Notice if your belly is engaged, can you let it go, sinking even more weight towards your hips? Four full breaths. Last round of breath. And gently press back. Take your time. Find a tabletop or a downward facing dog. Extend your right leg back. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Roll out your hip. Roll out your ankle. Then other side, bring your left knee in line with your left wrist. Crawl your right leg back behind you. Feel your weight even through your hips. Stay upright or fold forward onto the earth, onto your props. Know that you have plenty of time to get into each posture. You never need to come into your deepest expression right away. And close your eyes. And let gravity take over for you here. If you notice your mind wandering or thoughts creeping in, perhaps you count up on your inhale to 4 or 6, and then down on your exhale in reverse. You can also choose a phrase, a mantra, or a sentence to repeat to yourself with each breath in, each breath out. You're over halfway through this side, so make any adjustments you'd like. Take 4 breaths. And then only when you're ready, press into your hands, tabletop, down dog. Find your release in your left leg, back, bend your knee, open your hip. And tap your knees down to the earth if they aren't yet there. We'll come into lizard lunge variation. You may want some padding for your back knee, so maybe that's a pillow or a towel. Step your right foot to the center of your mat. Both hands come inside on each side of your right foot. You can push up onto your fingertips, or if you've got a water bottle or some blocks, use that. And then just notice how this feels. You can also roll over the long edge of your mat one more time for a little more padding. Feel your hips sink forward and down. And maybe this is where you stay. If you'd like a little more, crawl your right foot to the top right edge of your mat. Drop down to your forearms or stay up on your palms. You're here for about 2 more minutes. So the longer you hold the stretch, it gets a little more intense, a lot more intense. So stay with your breath. Let your head and neck release. If it's ever too much, you can straighten your front leg, take a few breaths, and then bend back in as you're ready. Final minutes. Final minute. So maybe this is where you stay. If you want the quad stretch, bend your back knee. You can hold in stillness or reach back, grab for your back foot, hug your heel in, sink your hips forward and down, and then rotate your heart towards the right. "30 seconds, stay with your breath. Take a full breath in, full breath out, release any grip you have. Crawl your right foot to center, half splits. Straighten your front leg, fold over your front thigh. And slide your right foot back. We'll take that on the other side. Step your left foot to the center of your space, a hand on each side of your left foot. Push up onto your fingertips or use your props as you've got them. Allow your body to absorb the opening in your hip flexors. option to stay. Or if you want a little more, lizard lunge, crawl your left foot to the top left edge of your mat. Both hands are now inside your left foot. You can stay upright or drop down to your forearms. Release tension through your head, your neck, your shoulders. You can open your mouth wide here. Shift your jaw side to side. Final minute, maybe this is where you stay or bend your back knee, come into the quad stretch, reach back, grab for your back foot, hug your heel in. "30 seconds, stay with your breath. Take a full breath in, stay for your exhale, and then gently release. Shift your hips back, crawl your left foot to center, half splits, fold over your front thigh. Slide your left foot back. Coming into embryo pose, bring your knees together, your feet together, sit back onto your heels. And roll forward, drop your forehead to your mat, your hands by your sides, palms face up. You can always slide your block or any prop underneath your forehead if it's hovering here or if this is uncomfortable or challenging to breathe. 60 more seconds here. Take a full round of breath. And then gently press into tabletop. Send one leg back, the other leg back. Find down dog or flow through a few cow cats. And we'll take thread the needle. So you have the option to take thread the needle from a tabletop if you prefer. Otherwise, lower all the way down onto your belly. Take your right arm, slide it underneath your chest, just below your chin. Your forehead drops to the earth. Your left hand can come out to the front, palm face down. Or maybe go for a half bind, bring your left hand behind your low back. If this is incredibly uncomfortable, bring your left knee into a half frog as you slide your left knee in line with your left hip. Then let your weight sink down, squaring your heart, your shoulders towards your mat, feeling a stretch through the right side of your back. You're here for 2 minutes. Take a full round of breath. And slide your left hand back underneath your shoulder. Reach your right arm out from under you. We'll set up for the other side right away. Take your left arm, slide it under your chest. Drop your forehead to your mat or your prop. Rotate your chest, your heart down to the earth. Always an option to slide your right knee towards your hip, taking a half frog leg in the right. Take a full round of breath. Gently slide your left arm out. If you aren't already on your torso, make your way there. Coming into Sphinx pose. Walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. Slide your shoulders down away from your face. You can tuck your chin. You can also use your props in any way here to support your head and your neck if you prefer to relax through your neck, your upper body. So this one compresses your low spine. Notice how that feels. If you need a little less, crawl your forearms away from you. Drop your chest closer to the earth. If you want more, rotate your palms to the corners of your mat. And then lift your elbows any amount. You can even crawl your hands in towards your hips. We're here for just about 1 more minute. Take a full breath. And lower down if your elbows are up. Drop your forehead to your forearms. If it feels good on your back, bend your knees. Drop your shins right to left. Walk your hands back by your low ribs. Push yourself up to a tabletop. We'll come into frog pose. It's a pretty intense inner hip opener. So you can always take another set of child's pose with your feet wide, but with your feet together. You may want to turn and face either side so both knees are on your mat. Draw your knees wide, just like you would if you were coming into child's pose. But instead of your big toes touching, your shins come out from your knees. Rotate the inner arches of your feet down. So from the other side, it looks like this. Knees wide, shins out, and then big toe side of your foot down as you rotate the inner arches of your feet towards the earth. From here, shift your hips back and then drop your chest. If you've got a pillow or a bolster, give your chest some support. So you want to feel this in your inner hips, but if it's too much, find child's pose with your big toes together, especially if this one bothers your back. The closer your hips towards your heels, the more of a stretch you'll feel. The closer your chest to the earth, the more of a stretch you'll feel. If you notice the stretch starting to fade, slide your knees farther apart. One more minute here. Take a full round of breath. Gently push your chest away from the earth. Slide your feet closer together. Walk one knee in. Take your time. The other knee in. Straighten one leg back behind you. The other leg back behind you. Flow through a cow, cat. And take one more inner hip opener. Coming into a Malasana frog squat. If you're tighter through your hips or you have sensitive knees, ensure you have something to sit on. So maybe it's a block, maybe it's a pillow or a few pillows stacked. And step your feet wide. Sit in between your heels. Your knees and toes point in the same direction. And draw your elbows into your inner thighs. Pull your heart forward towards your thumbs. Send your tailbone down. Round your shoulders away from your face. If you want a little more, make a fist with one hand. Push your fist into your palm. If you want even more than that, press two fists together. Close your eyes if you'd like. Ten breaths. Four more breaths. You got it. Last full round of breath. And then hands down, coming into a forward fold. Lift your hips. Rotate your toes, but keep your feet hip bones distance apart. Bend your knees. Option to grab again for opposite elbow. Release your grip. Drop down to your knees for a moment. Come back towards the middle of your mat. Set your props aside if they're there. And we'll come into a seated forward fold. Again, an option to sit on a prop to elevate your hips if you're tighter through your back or your hamstrings. And exhale, fold forward. So you've got options here. We're here for 2 minutes. You can straighten your legs and grab on and make this an active forward fold using the strength of your upper arms to pull your chest towards your thighs. Or make this passive, bend your knees, let your entire torso fold heavy. You can use your props in any way here to support you as you fold. So bent knees will stretch more of your back, your spine. Straight legs will stretch more of your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs. Thirty seconds. Take a full round of breath. Curl yourself all the way up. Get a couple shoulder rolls here. Kind of open through your heart, chest expansion, and release your hands behind your back just for a breath or two. And then you'll come all the way down onto the earth. Give yourself a squeeze. Happy baby pose. Grab for the outside edges of your feet, your ankles, or the backs of your thighs. And sway side to side. Gently straighten one leg. And then the other leg. Just 4 more breaths here. And release your grip. Plant both feet onto the earth. And then slide your hips to the right side of your mat. So right hips to the long right side of your mat. Slide your shoulders to the long right side of your mat. So the right side of your body aligns with the long right edge of your mat. Take your right ankle, bring it on top of your right thigh or your left thigh. Coming into a figure 4 supine pigeon. And then finding your twist from here, drop both knees over to the left. Your right arm can come out to a T. If this bothers your hips or your back, take any version of this twist you would like. You can extend your bottom leg forward. You can bend both knees and stack both knees. Maybe you gaze towards your right hand. final minutes on this side. If there's any version in your legs you'd like to take. Inhale back to center. Unwind your legs, give yourself a squeeze, sway a little side to side. Then plant your feet, slide your entire left side body over to the left. Bring your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Exhale, twist over to the right. Slide your bottom hip to center so your hips stack one on top of the other. Maybe you draw your left arm out. Maybe you take a different shape in your legs. Last minute, if you took a different shape in your legs on the other side, find that now. Full round of breath. Gently find center. Give yourself a squeeze. If there's any final movement you need, add that in now. Otherwise, draw your forehead to your knees. Pull everything into center. And exhale, release. Set yourself up for your final resting pose. Maybe you cover your eyes or wrap yourself up in a blanket. You can take legs up the wall if you're nearby. And take a big breath in, big breath out. Envision or imagine a bright light starting at the top of your head, surrounding the crown of your head, beginning to make its way down your body. This light surrounds the back of your head, the back of your skull, moves into your eyes, each eyelid falling heavy, both the right, the left, and washes over your face, unclenching your jaw, allowing your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. Feel this light melt the muscles of your face into relaxation. And then travel down into your shoulders, the front of your right shoulder, the back of your right shoulder, the front of your left shoulder, the back of your left shoulder. And this warm, bright light travels down each arm, into each elbow, through each forearm, into your wrists, into your right hand, your left hand, in and through each finger. And this light travels through your torso all the way down into your spine, supporting your entire back, wrapping around into your lungs, down into your belly. Feel your pelvis fall heavy into the earth. And the light travels through each hip, down into each thigh, your right thigh, your left thigh. As your legs become heavier and heavier, into each knee, each calf, down into your ankles, your right foot, your left foot, in and through each toe. And feel this bright light absorb throughout your entire body as everything falls and sinks heavy into the earth. This is where I will leave you. Spend as much time here as you can. Let me know how you feel. Send a little message in the chat box. Thank you so much for practicing with me, for sharing your energy. I truly miss you guys. Can't wait to see you all. Have a wonderful evening. Namaste.